Alright guys, so my name is Benjamin. Welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys a quick tip about how to dealing with the outliner. Okay, so if you look at the outliner, currently we are at the view layer. Okay, so this view layer is more focused on the collection point of view. So you make a certain model and you put it into a certain collection, and you rename that collection to a different name, and you can see all the collections. Okay, and you can even got a scene point of view, and we will come to that later, but for now it's default the view layer, right? And if you look at the view layer, there is something pretty interesting, is that we got this eye here which we can hide, and we got a camera here, and you can toggle the camera. The camera is when you render it, you can toggle it off, which means that when you actually render, for example, render this cube, if you just turn off the camera, it won't show in your render scene. But if you just toggle the eye, it won't show in your viewport, which is that the port that you're viewing right now. So if you toggle it down, it will not show. But if the camera is on, it will show in your render view. Okay, so yeah, and of course you can unlock a lot of function by using the filter here. So if you click the filter, you can toggle all these things selectable, and this disable in viewport, and hold out, and indirect only. I think the last two we seldomly used, so I don't recommend to toggle it on because it will take a huge amount of space. Okay, because as you guys can see, not a lot of item will have that option, so it's recommended that you don't choose that, and you will save a little bit of space, so you can get a tiny view that can give the information of the item as well as all the function that you can use. So yeah, what about all this function? So what about the selectable? Okay, so the selectable is that say for example, this is a light. Okay, so if you are at a certain angle, that the light and the cube or whatever object that is under are overlapped. Okay, so if you want to try to select the cube, and boom, you select the lights. So yeah, you are you want to select cube, so you may just click multiple times, which is something that we should avoid. So we are going to just get the light and maybe the camera. So if you move here, and the camera will just overlap with the cube. So if you want to select the cube, you might accidentally select the camera. And what we like to do is make it unselectable. Disable selection. So if we disable selection, even though we click the camera, we select the cube, and even though we select the light, we select the cube as well. So yeah, this is pretty convenient, especially in terms of the camera or light. You can just toggle off the selectable, and of course there is a the viewports disable. I think we already discussed that. Okay, so if you disable the viewports, just won't see it, but if you render it, it will show. And the disable in render is pretty powerful tool. So if you say if you are doing modeling and you got a reference image or reference model inside, and you are going to need it if you just during the modeling process, but don't need it during the rendering, you can say got that model toggle off, so it won't show in your finished rendering process. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all about the outline view layer function. And my recommendation is that you toggle this selectable and the disabling viewports on this. I think it's a screen icon, we toggle that on so you can see that and you can toggle it. And my recommendation is that you toggle the light and camera. If you already fixed the light and camera, you can just make it selectable, turn off, so you can just won't accidentally select it. And of course, it's not recommended, especially for the beginner, not recommended to hide the camera or any light, because if you can't see the camera and light, it won't show in your rendering. Or if you say got a rendering engine and you are looking at the render view, and if you toggle off the light, for example, you won't see the light. So it will make your modeling process a little bit harder, so you don't use it. But if you don't want to use the light, say in the finished rendering, you can just disable in the rendering, in render. So in your render, you won't see that. Okay, but don't hide it. Okay, so sometimes even if you got a lot of item here and you accidentally hide something, and after a pretty long time of render, and you will see something that accidentally that you hide, so that is not something that we want. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all. And if you like to hear more of the tutorials about digital art modeling, feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.